Not at all. The point the president's making, I think the biggest takeaway that we have to look at is that he shouldn't have to. Congress should have stepped up and fully funded all of the things that CBP and DHS have said they need to protect our border. But look, the president could drag this out, certainly over years, and we could spend the next decade building the wall. But the president wants to stop the national security and humanitarian crisis that's taking place at the border. He wants to stop it as soon as he can, and that requires getting additional funding outside of the funding package.
Sarah.
Has the president actually signed the spending
He
bill?
did. The president signed the bill maybe about 20 minutes or so ago. Yep. I don't think there's an official photo of it released, but he has signed it.
There's been a lot of concerns about certain provisions in the bill, specifically Angel Moms came here to talk to him about it today. Like Section 224, which they say could exacerbate child trafficking, which your administration is very opposed to, talks a lot about.
I think everybody should be opposed to that.
Well, everybody,
so,
yes.
Yeah.
But how does the president feel about that? How did he assuage the concerns of the moms?
Look, no one claims that this bill is perfect. It's far from it, but the president wanted to do everything possible. He's given Congress a number of chances to put something on his desk that actually helps protect the border. This is a step in the right direction, but it's certainly not perfect, and hopefully we can fix some of those other problems along the way.
What's your response to...
Was the president serious about inviting Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer to the China talks, and if so, will they be part of the talks here in Washington?
I think he's certainly serious. I guess that's a question you'd have to ask them, is if they want to come.
What's your response to Republican lawmakers?
Sorry, I'll keep it.
Sure.
How much are you guys looking at the stock market in these China negotiations? Are you encouraged by the prospect of a stock market boost if the negotiations go well, and do you feel boxed in by the prospect of a stock market decline if the negotiations don't go well?
Certainly, I think everybody always wants the stock market to do well. I think that's always a positive thing, but that's not what the president's basing the trade conversations on. He's making sure that we get the best deal possible for American workers and making sure we get fair deal that protects intellectual property and a number of other things. And so that's first and foremost the priority for the president, is making sure it's a good deal. I'm sorry?
Is he worried about a negative reaction if the deal doesn't go through?
Again, we're making progress, and we'll see what happens from there. The president's focused more on long-term economic stability, not just the ebb and flow day to day.
So what's your response to Republican lawmakers who say they're uncomfortable with the president declaring a national emergency? They say it constitutes executive overreach.
It's certainly 100% within the president's executive authority, and certainly part of his constitutional duty to protect the people of this country. Frankly, if people and members of Congress had a problem with it, they should have done more to address and get more of these problems solved in the legislation so the president wouldn't have to take executive action. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.